Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host Lando. I'm here with Mac today, and we're talking some very important rankings, the running back rankings for Week 16, your championship week. If there's guys that we haven't talked about, make sure to drop it in the comments below. We're going to get to every single one of your questions. So if you've got fringe players, like if you picked up Le'Veon Bell and need to know where to start him, we will answer your questions there. We also do a live stream 2 hours before kickoff on it every Sunday for any start, sit, flex questions you might have. Mac, how are you doing today? Which running back are you relying on Championship Sunday?
What's good, my brother? Good to be here with you talking the running back rankings for this week. Look, this is going to be crazy coming from your boy who's been down on Derrick Henry, in his earlier years, but I cannot hate any longer. Look, Derrick Henry has been a man possessed for the past 2 seasons. This year, he's potentially going to break records, and you got to go to the well. Derrick Henry up against a Green Bay Packers, my Packers, who, look, I'm going to tell you first and foremost, they suck defending the run, and Derrick Henry's about as good as it gets in this league. I think the game script is going to be pound the rock all day long, and Derrick Henry could go for 200. We've seen Dalvin Cook rip the Packers up for 200, and I could certainly see King Henry doing the same. So I think a lot of volume and a lot of touchdown upside for Derrick Henry in the cold up in Lambeau.
I love that the Yeti is going to eat. Another guy that's been good, and we talked about him, David Montgomery, Mac. You said it back in Week 8 that he is going to be a league winner. I believe it as well. Against Jacksonville, it's a perfect spot for Montgomery. He's probably on your team or you're facing Montgomery this week. Man, this guy has been just awesome. Like, what are you going to do with a guy like David Montgomery? You got to start him. He's going to be a league winner.
Just like we said back in Week 8, David Montgomery is going to be a key piece in winning people championships. And since Week 9 to now, David Montgomery is your 6th overall fantasy running back and averaging 20.7 fantasy points per game. That is second in that time frame. So Montgomery's been great and should get a really, really nice workload this week. And you can't shy away. You got to roll him out with complete confidence. I really do think that he gets it done for you.
A guy that I still have confidence in this week is Aaron Jones. They play the Tennessee defense. It's not a great defense. It could be a bit of a shootout there in Lambeau as long as it doesn't snow too hard or it's not too cold. But Aaron Jones, man, he's been vultured by Aaron Rodgers all year long, getting those short 1-2 yard passes to Devontae Adams. But I still think that Aaron Jones should be an auto start. He can break off any long run. He's playing for a contract this year as well. Against Tennessee, it should be in a great spot. He's a must-start running back this week. You got to go with Aaron Jones.
Look, we saw what Aaron Jones did last week in a plus matchup against the Panthers, 20 for 145 and a score. I expect things to be very similar this week against the Tennessee Titans, who are no better at defending the run. So I'm with you, Landon. Top 3 running back on the week, Aaron Jones is a big, big piece. Now, going to number 4, we've got Alvin Kamara, and being an Alvin Kamara owner, I've got him in a championship matchup this week. I'm really happy to see Drew Brees back on the field, the check down master, and people might say that hurts Drew Brees' upside. Still 3 for 3 touchdowns last week. Yardage was low, but Alvin Kamara should be a key piece in moving the football for the Saints. And look, I think sky's the limit this week for him going up against the who did they play? Up against the Minnesota Vikings, which is a beautiful, beautiful matchup.
I totally agree. The Vikings are out of the playoffs. It's going to be a plus matchup. I'm willing to stream Drew Brees if you're desperate, especially, you're starting him in Superflex, but Drew Brees is in a good spot. Alvin Kamara is going to be that guy that he's kind of stumbled over the past few weeks with Taysom Hill at quarterback. If you're in the championship like you are, Mac, with Alvin Kamara, he could be a league winner going for 20 plus against Minnesota. Next, I will talk about Nick Chubb. He is a stud. You got to go Nick Chubb. They play the Jets. Like I mentioned in our quarterback video, that the Cleveland Browns are not going to take the Jets lightly. They're going to win and run all over them. Nick Chubb is a phenomenal running back. I think pound for pound, he's top 5 in the NFL. No question. I don't know if anyone has really that kind of doubts. But Nick Chubb, you got to go with him. I think Kareem Hunt, if you're asking about Kareem Hunt as well, he is a fringe top 15 running back in that backfield as well. He's a little bit game script dependent. He needs it to be a bit of a shootout, and being involved in that fourth quarter, getting checkdowns. He's very much a third down back for Cleveland, and he's very much a fourth quarterback. So Kareem Hunt is in play as well as a flex play, but he's not a running back one for me.
I was a little bit disappointed with Nick Chubb's performance, specifically in the first half last week, going up against the Giants, who were a plus matchup on paper, and the Jets come in at a top 10 defense against opposing fantasy running backs. Can Nick Chubb weather the storm and get on the field a little bit more? We've seen a declining snap share for him the past couple weeks, finally back up to 60, but really it's been a change of pace, 1-2 punch with Kareem Hunt, and to your point, Kareem Hunt's definitely in play. I still think Nick Chubb has an ability to win you a week, but I'd like to see a little bit more out of him this week. I think 15 touches is certainly not going to get it done for you.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook, Mac, I've got him buried a bit against New Orleans. You're starting Dalvin Cook if you have him. There's no question, but I just don't see the upside as much or against New Orleans. A little bit tough. Could be game script dependent. I just don't know why they would run him into the ground in the last game or the last fantasy game of the season when their season doesn't really matter anymore. I don't know.
I think Dalvin Cook will get the ball. Look, he's healthy. The Minnesota Vikings, literally, like you said, have nothing to play for at this point, but why sit Dalvin Cook down? Doesn't really make sense. However, on the Saints side of the ball, they've only allowed one rusher in the last 56 games go over 100 yards, and that was Miles Sanders in the breakout of Jalen Hurts. Now, will Dalvin Cook be a candidate to crack that again? Absolutely. Will it happen? It's probably improbable, but Dalvin Cook still has the ability to score you a touchdown, to give you a good game, and I think that's what you need to bank on. Austin Ekeler is another one that falls similarly to Dalvin Cook for me, and really, I think between those two, I would still go Dalvin, but a lot of people are going to want to play Ekeler as well in a nice matchup against Denver. Let's talk Miles Sanders, who just came to my mind with the breakout game against the Saints in his return to form. How do you feel about Miles Sanders this week in a really nice matchup against the Dallas Cowboys?
You know, the top 7, Mac, I think are really good starts. The top 7 are locked and loaded as like running back ones far and away. The rest of them are a little bit sketchy. It's tough to really trust Miles Sanders. I think he's got a lot of upside, sure, but we've seen a couple games where he's okay with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Could it happen that he gets forgotten about, and it's just Jalen Hurts pushing the ball downfield? Guys like Deshaun Jackson is back active. Jalen Reagor is a deep threat. It could be that Miles Sanders is just a good running back one again. I have him ranked inside the top 10, but he's just less safe. His floor is lower because he's been disappointed all year round. I do believe in the talent, and that's why I like Miles Sanders at number 8 against Dallas. It's a very plus matchup. Yeah, I think he's going to be fine for you. He can catch the ball as well, so he's good in PPR. But I just think there's a bit of a drop-off here.
I totally get it. Who do we have next up on our list? I believe it's Josh Jacobs going up against the Miami Dolphins.
Very much a floor play for me. Jacobs can definitely get into the end zone. Miami's defense has been great. We did see that Derek Carr practice today at a limited basis, so he took some first-team reps. I don't expect him to play. Mariota could steal some of those goal line work from Jacobs. So I think his floor ceiling isn't really up there, but his floor, he's going to get 25 carries. No problem against Miami.
Yeah, I would say 25 touches is probably more reasonable, but I'm almost with you. I would wish Derek Carr would get the start here, and because of his not immobile traits, but Marcus Mariota, we saw a lot of design runs, a lot of bootlegs for him, and that does take away from Josh Jacobs. So yeah, I would like to see Derek Carr rolled out. I really think that gives him a little bit of a boost. And coming in at number 10, we've got Jonathan Taylor. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Jonathan Taylor going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off 3 straight losses. Just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Ryan Finley, of all people. The Steelers have been sliding. Their defense is banged up. Their offense is atrocious. I really think that Jonathan Taylor could be the highlight of this game, and really people that are relying on Steelers defense to maybe win them a championship, I don't think this is the week. I don't think this is where they get it done. I think the Colts can run wild on the Steelers, and I have a lot of confidence in Jonathan Taylor to continue this breakout party that he's been on.
I totally agree. I think we should talk about all these rookies because I've got Taylor at 10, DeAndre Swift at 11, and J.K. Dobbins at 12. They're probably in and around your lineups. Maybe Swift and Dobbins are your flex plays, and we want to give you the confidence to start them. I just want to see what kind of confidence level you have with a guy like J.K. Dobbins and DeAndre Swift in matchups that really aren't super plus. I know you mentioned in our quarterback video about running backs against the Giants. Should we flip-flop some of these, or what are your thoughts here with these 3 rookies?
Yeah, I think on the ground, J.K. Dobbins has the best matchup here out of these sort of fringe RB1 guys. I think the Giants are giving up the 13th most on the ground, or the 12th most on the ground, to opposing running backs. And J.K. Dobbins has been getting the work. If Mark Ingram continues to be out, I certainly think that warrants a boost in the rankings for J.K. Dobbins. That's what we're projecting. That's how we got to 11. Gus Edwards really hasn't taken a whole lot away from J.K. Dobbins, and my confidence remains high for him to have running back 1 upside. I would play him over DeAndre Swift this week. I don't know if that falls in line with you, but I really do like the role that JK's carved out for himself in the absence of Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I had trouble ranking these rookies myself. DeAndre Swift had 2 touchdowns this past game, which I really like about DeAndre Swift. He's really used on that goal line where we've seen J.K. Dobbins sprinkled in on the goal line, but it does sometimes it's Gus, sometimes it's Lamar. So it's a little bit tricky to project his goal line work and touchdown upside. Now, he could always take a 35-yard rush to the house. No, he's got the talent, no question. We've talked about J.K. Dobbins all year. It's just I do like J.K. Dobbins a lot, and that's why I've got him at number 12.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to go down narrative street, but I just look at these 2 defenses between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants, and I think, who has a tendency on the defensive end to be a little bit more aggressive, to put more pressure on the quarterback. That's probably the Tampa Bay Bucks. Devin White being able to get back there and disrupt a little bit of that Detroit backfield and potentially take away DeAndre Swift in the red zone. So I'm not really afraid of the New York Giants defense, and I don't think they can be uber aggressive because of Lamar's mobility. So I actually think that they'll be able to move the ball really well. I'm kind of banking on the Ravens' run game here to basically break the tie between Dobbins and Swift. That's kind of my thinking.
So interesting, Max. So I've got guys behind Dobbins, like Melvin Gordon, Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson, Kareem Hunt, David Johnson. Would you start any of those guys ahead of Swift? How far should I move Swift down in the rankings?
I would definitely start Kenyon Drake personally over DeAndre Swift. Now, our consensus has him a little bit higher, but I would personally start Kenyon Drake over him. I think the matchup is a lot better with San Francisco.
There we go. You heard it here. So thanks a lot for coming by. We've got more ranking shows coming out this week. Wide receivers, tight ends, even a defense show if you guys like that so much. So comment below if you have specific start set questions, flex questions. We are here to help you out. Make sure to tune in, like, and subscribe. We are live, like I mentioned, 2 hours before kickoff for anything you need. We are Snap_Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks a lot, and we will see you next